When you think about ASUS as a brand, most people instantly think about their high-end ROG stuff. But in the last couple of years, ASUS has been expanding their TUF gaming lineup as well that has more of a value focus. So TUF motherboards have been around for ages, but nowadays you can also get TUF graphics cards, water coolers, air coolers, cases, fans, and even monitors. So today I'm going to build a nice TUF gaming build to show what you can get when you put all those things together. So without further ado, let's go over the parts I have here. The basis of my build is going to be this TUF Gaming GT502 case. It has that dual compartment box type shape that has been really popular in the last few years, so it is a bit wider but not as tall as a typical tower case. It is a solid metal box with a tempered glass panel on the side and on the front, so it gives you that nice view of your hardware even if you're just looking at the front of the case. It actually comes in both black and in white, but I went with this black-gray version since it perfectly matches most of the other TUF hardware. Externally, there is quite a bit of branding going on, and it also comes with these straps up top that makes it easier to move your case around, which is great if you like to go to a lot of LAN parties. Internally, you have this main compartment for your motherboard, for your GPU and CPU cooling, which keeps the power supply and all of the cables nicely in the rear compartment. And you can fit a lot of cooling too, including two 360mm radiators or 10 fans on this side and 3 more fans on the back of the case. I wanted to make a high power build so I can push this case to its limits and see how it performs under pressure. So naturally, I'm going to use this i9-3900K CPU. And the CPU will go into this TUF Gaming Z790 Plus Wi-Fi motherboard, which is actually one of the most sensible Z790 boards you can buy. It is on the affordable side, but it still offers everything you might need. It has well-built VRMs for a high-end CPU like this one with heatsinks all around. It has 4 M.2 slots for storage, 2.5 gigabit LAN and Wi-Fi 6E. And even though it is a more value-based motherboard, it also offers this Q release button, which makes it so much easier to remove your GPU, and then it is especially useful for the new graphics cards that are massive and leave very little room for your hand. For cooling, I have this TUF Gaming LC240 ARGB, which is an Acitic-based all-in-one cooler, and since the case doesn't come with any fans itself, I will be adding these TUF TF120 addressable RGB fans to match the cooler. Now you can buy these separately or you can buy them in a pack of 3, like I have here, and the pack includes a fan splitter and an addressable RGB controller that will come in handy in this build. While the board supports DDR5 7200 memory, I don't have such a kit, so I use these Corsair Dominator Platinum modules that should match the build perfectly. And since ASUS still doesn't make their own SSDs, for the main storage I grabbed this Sabrent Rocket 4 Plus SSD. And of course, I will be using this TUF Gaming RTX 4090 OC graphics cards, which doesn't need any introduction. The RTX 4090 is the fastest GPU on the market right now, and this massive TUF cooler has no issues keeping it cool with minimal fan noise. It is not as RGB heavy as the ROG card, but in terms of build quality, it is very much so up there with a beautiful all-metal shroud and a metal backplate. Now this case supports both vertical and horizontal GPU mounting, but I'm just going to keep it horizontal so it has a bit more airflow around it. And the GPU comes with a small GPU holder, but since I will be using extra intake fans on the bottom, I think I will use the GPU holder that the case comes with because it is a bit taller and it is a bit wider. And last but not the least is this power supply. Now ASUS will be launching their TUF Gaming Gold ATX power supplies very soon, but they're not available just yet. So I have this ROG Thor 1200 watt model instead. Internally, it is a Seasonic Prime design, so I can use the Seasonic native 12 volt high power cable instead of using the 4 8-pin adapter. And I think that this turned out pretty great. It is a very different aesthetic from my personal PC upgrade that I had in my last video, but I like that everything goes really nicely together. I did decide to add a couple of extra fans in the bottom here, since I wanted to show off these TF 120 fans on the side, and that would leave me without any intake, which is not a great idea if you're using a 3900K and a 4090. And of course, everything can be set to RGB rainbow mode, but I went with the black and gold TUF color scheme for this, and I think that works really well for this build. But let's see how it performs. So in gaming, thermals look really great. The CPU stayed at around 57 degrees average, with the GPU being around 63 degrees, with a hotspot of 74 degrees, which is very little for a card that draws about 425 watts. The case temperature remained steady at 35 degrees, and the VRMs never even hit 50 degrees. And all of that without the fans really spinning up, keeping the total noise level at just under 38 decibels, so this is a very good result. But the problem that I kind of anticipated with this build was putting a 3900K under a 240mm all-in-one cooler. When I limit the CPU to its 253 watt spec, it does manage to hold it, but if you don't limit it, the 3900K can happily draw 300 watts, and you simply need a bigger all-in-one cooler to keep it cool. And this is an issue with the CPU, not something that ASUS can fix. It just draws a lot of power and it just makes a lot of heat. If you go for an i5, an i7, or any of the latest Ryzen processors, this exact setup will work great, even for those that are lucky enough to get an RTX 4090. Anyway, I really hope you enjoyed this build. Let me know what you think about it and what would you do differently in the comments down below. Big thanks to ASUS for sponsoring this video, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye guys!